Welcome to our JavaScript web course. In this video, we will learn about variables, string concatenation, and template literals. I am looking at a file in my VS Code editor. As you can see, I have a few styles. And in my script block, I am declaring several variables. I will not be using all these variables. They are there to show you the different types of variables that can be created. First, I have two variables that contain string data. By string, I mean pure text or characters that you would find on a keyboard. So I declare my variable using the var keyword. There are other ways of declaring variables in JavaScript, and we will learn that later. So I have var first name. Notice that there are no spaces in the name of the variable. I am using Camel Case notation here, where the first letter of the second word is capitalized, and any additional words would have first letter capitalized also. This is a very common notation. However, you can use whatever style you wish, as long as you use it consistently. So I have var first name equals Teresa. Notice that Teresa is enclosed in double quotes. We can also use single quotes. All strings are enclosed in quotations. This is a statement, so it is terminated using a semicolon at the end. The equal sign is called the assignment operator. It does not mean that these two values are equal. It means that what is on the right is assigned to what is on the left. I have a second variable, var last name equals Pelkie, again a simple string variable. The next two variables are numeric. Var age equals 21, var weight equals 110. Notice they are not enclosed in quotations. Numeric data should not be enclosed in quotations. You would assign a numeric value to a variable if you are going to use that as a number or perform some type of calculation with it. Notice my next variable, var address equals 123 Main Street. That is a string variable. It is enclosed in quotations. Notice it contains a number. String variables can contain numbers. My next variable, zip code, var zip code equals, in quotes, 12345. You may ask, isn't that a number? Not necessarily. You typically do not perform numeric calculations with a zip code. Zip codes are purely for identification, and they are generally considered string data. Notice my next variable, phone. Again, a phone number is considered string data. Even though it contains numbers, it may also contain other characters, which would make it a string. My last variable, var employed equals true. Notice the value is a word. Notice it does not have quotations. This is a Boolean variable. Boolean values are true or false. They are not enclosed in quotations. If you enclose it in quotations, it then becomes a string. Booleans are useful for testing in programming. We will learn how to use Booleans later in this course. So here I have a simple demonstration of how to use a variable with string data. Notice in my first paragraph, I have pure text inside my HTML element, which contains the script tags. Inside the script tag, I have document.write. Inside the parentheses, I have the name of the variable, first name. Variable names are never enclosed in quotations. The minute you enclose a variable name in a quotation, it becomes a string literal, and the value will be exactly what the name of the variable is. Because we want to display the value that the variable holds, we do not put quotations around it. So this expression, document.write, passing it the value first name, will evaluate to Teresa. Now look at my second paragraph. Now I have everything inside my script block, and I have an expression inside my document.write statement. Here I am concatenating a string value with a variable. Because variables cannot be enclosed in quotations, we cannot put it inside the quotes. So we have to join it. We do that with the plus sign. So here I have in double quotes, my first name is plus the variable name first name. Notice inside my double quotes, I have a space at the end. That is because when this renders in the browser, we don't want the first name to be next to the word is, we want a space between it. So if I were to render this web page in the browser, this is how it looks. If I were to use my inspect tool by right-clicking, going to inspect, opening up my tags, and taking a look, I can see here is my first name is, which is pure HTML content, and there's Teresa, the result of my JavaScript statement. And now in the second P, the whole expression is shown as a result of the JavaScript statement. Now let's look at another example. We are using the same variables, but now we are using more of them. In my first paragraph, I have a document.write statement, and inside I have an expression. I want to display the first name and the last name. The first name and the last name are both stored in variables. However, I need a space between those two words. So I need to concatenate or join an empty space between those two variable names, as you see here. When you view the result in the web page, you can see we have that space between the first name and the last name. In the second paragraph, we will concatenate more string literals with the variable, and we are also adding some HTML. Notice that we are concatenating the expression I see that you are with the variable age with the expression years old. And notice that we have an opening bold tag in the first string expression and the closing bold tag in the second string expression. And if you look in the browser, you can see age 21 is indeed bold. Finally, in the last paragraph, we are going to display the address, the zip code, and the phone number, along with some string phrases. Rather than using one document.write statement, which will extend all across the page and be a little hard to read, you can break up your expressions onto individual lines, as I have here. So notice we have to carefully concatenate the variables with the string expressions, making sure that we have spaces inside the string expressions so that the text does not all run together. And if you look in the browser, you will see our last paragraph does indeed look correct. Again, I will use my inspect tool. I right-click, choose inspect. I need to expand my HTML elements. And I can see the JavaScript, and I can see the output of the JavaScript underneath. Displaying this last paragraph was quite cumbersome. and sometimes concatenating long expressions can be difficult. There is an easier way to do that. It is called a template literal. So to demonstrate, I will first use string concatenation to construct a sentence, and I will construct that same sentence using the template literal. So let's look at the web page first to see what our output will look like. We are saying, hello, 21-year-old Teresa Pelkie with an exclamation point. And we're going to do that two different ways. So the first paragraph, using string concatenation, we have the word hello in quotations. We need a space after the word hello because that will be joined with the age. The value is coming from the variable age. So we have plus signs to the left and to the right of that variable. Then we're joining that with year old. Again, we need a space to the right and left of year old because we're joining that. Then we're joining the first name, which is a variable. So we're concatenating. We have the plus sign to the right and left. Finally, we're concatenating the last name, but because we don't want the first and last name to run together, we have to concatenate the blank space in the middle. Finally, we have to concatenate our exclamation point. Takes a little bit of planning. All right, let's take a look at the template literal in the second paragraph. We have a document.write statement. Everything is inside a backtick character. If you're not familiar with a backtick, it is on the upper left corner of your keyboard, right underneath the escape key. So JavaScript will interpret content inside backticks differently than inside double quotes or single quotes. So inside these two backticks, we can place our string data, and all we have to do is enclose our variables in curly braces preceded by the $sign. These are curly braces, not straight braces or bracket. They are located to the left of the backslash key on the keyboard in the vicinity of the enter key. So all we have to do is place our variable names inside the curly braces preceded by a $sign for every variable. And then all we have to do is place the text wherever we want it. The interpreter in the browser will preserve the white space in between all those words so that we don't have to be concatenating white space and worrying about words running together. This was introduced into the JavaScript language 6 or 7 years ago, so you may not see it being used that much in examples on the web. It is a great alternative to string concatenation.